in a developing country can really go aggressively and position itself against, you know, the big global brands. And then Jing, you know, went ahead and was, you know, looking at the opportunities and the way, you know, the importance of relocation actually is positioning enterprises such as the Dell Group for, you know, being profitable and successful on global markets. Now, on the way, there was a very interesting consideration linked to bundled outsourcing, which is in fact, you know, also putting a lot of questions related to the complexity of actually tying in different sourcing bases. She talked about the decoupling of manufacturing components, and that is really certainly one of the models which we see, you know, becoming a standard on a global scale. And then she hinted on the sort of, you know, the niche positioning and what could be the opportunity for small and medium-sized enterprises in that environment. Which prompted a question which we heard from the audience after that, related to, you know, the values and so on, which I will hint to in a second. Yufan gave us a very interesting other perspective on how China is getting positioned to take on the challenge of, you know, related to the supply chain environment with the Shanghai initiative. What is very interesting is that, you know, the strategy moves away from just seeing Shanghai as a pure geographic location, but, you know, developing the next, you know, thinking of the Shanghai, you know, seaport facility as being a total service offer for, you know, that groups all the services related to logistics and distribution, you know, in the country. And the other interesting message was this hub concept, you know, the ability for Shanghai to connect to different hubs in the world that is seen as a very important competitive advantage to back up the success story of China. So, you know, we moved from sort of, you know, looking at the market with various experiences to more like the real supply side logistics, and it was, you know, a very nice complement in terms of, you know, the way of covering within the time allocated all the, you know, some of the key points related to supply chain. And the Q&A, interestingly enough, invited us to think about other things, because we talked about values. There was the question raised about, you know, cost cutting, cost reduction, and the drive to, you know, becoming, you know, cost competitive on a global scale. But what is it does it do to the, you know, the values of small and medium-sized organizations, and how do we cope with it? And other very important element was the notion of cultural gap that was addressed, and it was interesting to listen again to Sunju's experience and see, you know, what are the responses in terms of, you know, organizational set on the, you know, human resources side, but also the response in terms of IT tools to be able to cope with that environment. And finally, we had also, you know, a very interesting notion put to the table about, you know, global world, yes, but what is, you know, how do we manage currency fluctuations, and what does it do to the model which is going to market? I just want to finish before, you know, we break, and the coffee break. I mean, we have not gone over our time, by the way, but you know, we started with 15 minutes late, and we'll finish like 2 minutes earlier. Thank you, team, and thank you, the audience. But just to finish with, I would like to invite for a round of applause for our speakers and our moderator. Thank you for a job well done.
Thank you very much, Jackie. And thank you everyone for coming, participating, and contributing. I'm sorry that the plenary goes a bit longer than we expected, but let's go to the coffee break time. And if you have any more questions, please go to the individual speakers. They are very nice people. Just
and
a quick
if you could take, you know, it's now like 1:15, you know, no more than 5 minutes, please, so that we can continue, you know, with the session.
Yeah. And a quick reminder, at 10:15, still in this room, there will be an interactive plenary section on optimizing business success through strategic partnership. Thank you.